I need banana, tasty banana. Put banana in my mouth. Squeeze the peel, it comes in. Squeeze banana. When God of War Ragnarok was released, there were already spoilers all over the internet for the game. The entire plot had already been spoiled everywhere. Everyone who wanted to know what the game was already knew, because the spoilers were insane. They idiotically sent out early copies again, which I always tell you guys they should never do anymore. There's a difference between the 1990s and the 2000s game media and the modern game media. Back then, it was a necessary evil. You had to send out early copies so they could play through the game and do reviews before those games hit the internet. Today, we don't need that anymore. Today, we literally have instant broadcasting of the game raw and live the moment it releases. Everyone can judge for themselves if it's a good game or not. We don't need some big talking media head to tell us. We have enough independent content creators out there that we can make the judgment for ourselves, or you could let them tell you what's going on release day. There's no reason whatsoever to be sending out copies of these games 1 to 2 weeks early, and then the entire plot of the game is spoiled on the internet before the game ever even sells. Okay? It's just insanely bad, outdated, stupid, old school business marketing mindset that is screwing over the modern gaming landscape. I'm not a sellout. I'm not a shill. I'm not a fucking moron who constantly changes what they want to do for the sake of making a buck. That's why. It is. This whole idea that you have to get early press copies out is so outdated and stupid. If the entire games industry just right now put down their foot and said no more, because there's been too many spoilers, too many instances of leaks, and too many instances of people, stealing, ripping, illegally sharing games and plots to the games, to the point where we feel it's hurting our games, we're not doing it anymore. Literally no one. No one is doing it anymore. As an industry, we got together overnight and we decided no more early copies because you can't be trusted. Therefore, every game will come out on release day. Everyone plays it at the same time. That includes the journalists. That includes big content creators who get the game for free and get paid to play and promote the game. That also includes normal people like you and me who have to buy the games outright and play them for ourselves. If we all got these games on day one, there would be no spoilers. So I would much rather wait till release day, game is released, real gamers fucking play, not journalists, not elitist gamers who got the game 2 weeks early and streamed it all over fucking Twitch for extra views and money and then hyped it up for 2 fucking weeks so you'll watch their playthrough. No. And therefore, you'd have a feeling of hype. Oh my God, everyone is experiencing this game together on release day. This is a really awesome feeling. This is how it used to be. Yes, back in the day when I started on YouTube, you're talking over 10 years ago. No one had these early release copies, or if they did, it was just the select few of the game's media, and no one had leaked the plots of the fucking game all over the internet so early that all the hype was killed and squashed. People were able to play the game on release day and feel this feeling of community. We are all playing the hot new game together at once. We're all experiencing this game together for the very first time, and it was this awesome hype feeling. You don't get that awesome hype feeling anymore when people already played the game 2 weeks ago and already know all about it and it's all over the internet. And then, are there any more midnight releases? No, why would there be? Everyone has the game early, right? Why even go to the store to buy the game when you can just pre-order digitally anyway? All that hype, that day one hype that used to be there, that used to really be a part of the gaming experience, has been lost. It is now gone. Today, the content I put out is very different from back in the day. 10 years ago, if this were me, I would have rushed through the game and beat it within a week. I would have beaten God of War Ragnarok because I wouldn't have done any of the side content. I would have said, we just got to get through it because we got to get to the next release, the next release, the next release, right?
This game sucks my dick.
And people used to rightly criticize me for that and say, Phil, that formula may work for a very, how can I say, people with a bad attention span, right? Your playthroughs are digestible to those who come to your channel, watch, nod, and move on. What's the next? What's the next? But for those of us who actually enjoy games at a deeper level, who are truly passionate about gaming, We are upset that you don't take your time with the games you play. You rush through and you end up missing half the content in the game. So it's not even fair when you review the game because you haven't seen half the content that's in it. And on top of that, you know, people want to go back and watch your playthrough. Why would they? Literally, you're doing an abridged version of the game. Half the time, it's just a bunch of dumb commentary when you're doing it anyway. So I took all of that to heart 10 years ago. All right? And what I've done in the last decade, I tried to change myself as a content creator. And if you haven't noticed, again, particularly since I became an interactive live streamer over 5 years ago, my content changed. All right? Directly dependent on what you guys told me. You said if you really care about games and you're passionate and you want your audience to feel that, you got to take your time. If you're playing a game that's really good and fun, you got to take your time with it. You got to not rush through it. You got to do the content that's meaningful. You know what I'm saying? And I'm okay with that. The problem is it takes time to do that. I'm 46 hours into God of War, and I've been playing it for over a month. I couldn't have gotten through it any faster unless I became the kind of guy that when a game like this comes out, all I did was play the game. And ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to our third point. The vast majority of people out there who played God of War Ragnarok rushed through the game and beat it within a week because they wanted the early views. They felt that if they rushed through the game and beat it as quickly as possible, that would get the hype amongst their audience, and then they dropped it like a hot rock and moved on to other games during the season and never looked back. That's what most content creators did. I know because I researched it. And I'm like, yeah, most people played it like 2-3 days straight, and then they balanced it with a couple other things and beat it within a week or so, and that was it. They didn't do half the side content in the game. They weren't doing the berserker fights. They don't care. To them, it's just a product to push out for their viewership so they can move on to the next product to make money. Day one views, day one inflated views, make the money. That's how I used to be. I'm admitting this to you now. A decade ago, that was also my mentality. When I was popular on YouTube and I had that level of viewership, I was like, man, I lose attention on these new playthroughs within just a few days. So if I don't beat these games right away, people won't care. I can't have a lingering playthrough for a month because people will fall off from the playthrough and not give a shit. So I used to turbo through those playthroughs to get them done quickly. And everyone told me I was doing it wrong. This was the dawn of things like this is how you don't play. You have to understand. This is where the major criticisms against me started coming from. People saying, you suck at games, you rush through them, you don't fairly rate them, you don't give them enough time, you skip all the content, you make fun of the game developer, your playthroughs suck. Change. So I did. So, is the God of War Ragnarok playthrough, you know, dwindling, or is it in the state it's in because the game sucks? Hell no. Is it because my gameplay sucks? No, my gameplay does not suck. I've watched some other content creators play this game. They're worse than me. They really, I mean, I told you, I watched someone die to the first boss like 5 times on standard difficulty. And this is a popular content creator with a profitable following, much bigger than me. This is the level that content creators are at today. They're not good. They're not. It's hilarious, okay? So it's not my gameplay that sucks. It's not the game that sucks. It's not the streams that suck. It's the situation. You. Yes, you. Right? It's the game was spoiled 2 weeks before it ever came out, so anyone who wanted the story already got it. Right? Everyone already rushed to play and beat the game within a week so they could move on to other stuff and make big bank at this time of year. They didn't care about the quality of their playthrough. They didn't care about the completeness of the playthrough. They just wanted to be part of that hype mentality for a few days and then just move on to the next for money. I didn't do that. I've changed my style up from doing that many, many, many years ago, and you guys told me I was all the better for it. But what that means is now we have a lingering playthrough that seems like it's never finishing, and the attendance and the attention has dwindled, and I can't fix that. You see? You're just gonna have to deal with it. So, here's the deal. Alright? I do have to direct your attention to the members goal for the month, and here's why. We're now at the end of the month. It's now the 20th of December, all right? We have, no exaggeration, 4 days to hit this goal. That includes today, tomorrow my day off, Thursday, Friday.
If you contribute now, because we bring out of time.
I'm not even sure if the member bomb that we got expires on the 24th or 25th. In fact, I guess I can check. Hold on a second. Here's the deal. A month ago, we got a member bomb of about 100 members, okay? That's going to expire sooner rather than later. So if we don't do something about it, meaning if we don't hit this goal, all right, by this weekend, we're not hitting the members goal for December, and that means no Viewer's Choice playthrough that's going to take place starting in January. What? No!